Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Black and White Show. It has returned, everybody. Yes, hello, everybody. I'm joined by Mr. Sam Mulliner. How are you, Sam?
I am good. The magic of the FA Cup is in the air, isn't it? Not.
This is the Black and White Show. We haven't done one for a while because there's been a game literally every 3 days. It's very
busy,
tough.
mate.
Kidding me, yeah. I mean, Sam, the grafters behind the scenes, putting everything up together. But we have time to build tonight's show, so we've got a lot to talk about. First half of tonight's show is all about transfer rumours. Don't we just love them? So we'll be, I think what we'll do, Sam, is we'll score them of probability out of 10. We'll give them a score. We'll go along with it. Something different.
Yeah, we've also coming up.
We've also got a Twitter poll running currently at the moment. So if you're on Twitter, head over. I'll keep mentioning that as well. I'll come to that in a second. The second half of the show, we're going to be joined by Liam. He's going to be helping us talk all about Arsenal because we've got Arsenal coming up tomorrow night, if you haven't guessed, which is live on the Beeb. And of course, we've got all the videos coming up tomorrow. You can see the WhatsApp number on your screen, which is 07476497166. I'll be reading your WhatsApp out. You'll see your comments appear on screen, but the only way you'll have your comments read out is if you send us a WhatsApp, and we'll obviously read them out. The poll, which we are running currently, let's bring that up. It doesn't want to work. Great. That's technology for you. Let's go to our profile. We'll go to profile and do it that way. There we go. Oh, looks like Arsenal are in for an easy win already. Right then. So pop on our Twitter. You can see it there. Whilst we're live, we're running a NUFC poll up until 10 p.m. We'd like to know your prediction ahead of the Arsenal game in the FA Cup. Already 12 votes. We've just put it out. Arsenal quite way out in front, an easy win. Arsenal to win on pens, 8.3. Newcastle scrape a win, 8.3. And nobody has said we'll win on penalties yet, which doesn't surprise me or Sam. Right, so do a very interactive show. Keep your comments coming. Let's crack on with the first bit of transfer news. We've also got a little bit of news away from transfers to talk about as well. The first one is, funny enough, it is actually a transfer poll, which starts off nicely. Sam put this out on New Year's Day. With the transfer window now opening, where are we needing to strengthen the most? Midfield, quite a large slide there, Sam. Are you surprised by that?
Not really. I mean, there's plenty of quantity in that centre of midfield, but is there a lot of consistent quality? I'm not so sure. Things have looked better shape-wise when Matty Longstaff has come in, but recently when it's been Jonjo and Sean, both really good players on the day, but it's just looked a bit of a mess, hasn't it? So maybe we're missing that real standout quality centre midfielder. At defence, I think we're fine, apart from obviously wing-back, just needs a bit of depth, and a right-back, but centre of defence are absolutely fine unless you're going to bring Lejeune back. And up top, if Callum Wilson gets injured, then we are in a bit of a mess. But you never know. It could be Big Andy's time.
Who knows? He might get a start. I know he did get the win against the Arsenal back 2010, I think it was. Yeah. James says our midfielders, Gash Hayden, is a good set midfielder. I think what we need is a goal scorer from midfield. We haven't had that since Kevin Nolan, maybe. Going all the way back then.
Cabaye, perhaps.
Cabaye. Was he a goal scorer? Creativity, yes.
Sissoko.
No, he wasn't a goal scorer. Stop trying to wind us up. Let's move on to
the goal scorer.
Musa Sissoko got didn't he get two every season on average?
He got more than that. He's got saying that, Jeff Hendricks got 2.
Second top goal scorer, Jeff.
God.
Yes. Anyways, let's crack on with the transfer rumour. The first one we are going to pull up is Tom Davies. Could Everton's Tom Davies be the answer in Newcastle's midfield? Contrary, the Athletic claims Steve Bruce and Newcastle are long-term admirers of the 22-year-old. Personally, Sam, I'm against it.
Yeah.
I don't think he improves us as a midfield. I think he's very similar in the mould of Sean.
Yeah.
And he's a similar age to Sean. And we've got two Geordies, easy for me to say, already at the club. And he's English. He'll probably cost a lot of money. I just don't think he's any better than what we've got.
No, I'm not a fan. I mean, this link first originated in the summer, which is why they're considered to be long-term admirers of Tom Davies. I'm with you, not for me. Doesn't do a lot for me at all. Yeah, doesn't improve us. I think it'll just be another one that's good on his day, but we've already got.
How much has he got?
But how long's he got left to run on his contract? That's with these kind of players. That's a big degree of their price now will depend on how long is left on their contract.
Well, what we'll do then, we'll score it, make a little banner up whilst you're there than Sam, because Sam's controlled the comments banners. Out of 10, how realistic is this transfer? Give it a score.
Do you know what? I'm going to go straight down the middle for this one because I know that they are long-term admirers of him, and Bruce does like a pretty naff midfield signing, as we've already seen. Bentaleb, Hendrick. You know, so I can kind of see where this has come from. And as I say, there's got to be substance to it because one, it's come from the Athletic, and two, it was around in the summer as well. So I do think there is something to it. Whether it'll happen or not, I'm not so sure, which is why I'm going straight down the middle because if he's going to cost any money, it's not going to happen. Simple as that.
Yeah, I don't want to say it happening. Next one is another midfielder, which is Hamza Choudhury on loan, not getting much game time currently at Leicester. Obviously, we know about the situation with Matt Ritchie last season in the League Cup. Ritchie was out for months. Very hard graft and scored a great goal against us, actually, in the league, wasn't it? And he killed the top corner when they put 3 past to us. So, again, it'll be good for Hayden to have a bit of competition because he is a natural defensive midfielder, but Is he an improvement again? I'll ask you that question, Sam.
It's hard to say. Decent player. Questions about his attitude. As I've put in on the tweet there, I popcorn at the ready for him and Matt Ritchie in training after what happened last season. I'm not a fan of this one either, to be honest. This rumour, I don't think. January window is always tough to add real quality, and I don't think Choudhury is real quality, so I would be against it. I don't think I'm sure Brendan Rodgers come out today and said something negative about it, so I think he might be staying at Leicester or going elsewhere anyway. So it's a no from me.
Probably prefer Choudhury over Davies though, because I think Choudhury's got a bit more bite to him.
Yes.
And something that we lack in centre midfield is another Isaac Hayden. He's probably the next nearest thing. But I'll score this one. I'm going to probably score this a 4 out of 10. I think it's less likely that he'll come because Leicester need their squad and they're pushing for the Champions League. Davies is not really getting a look into the 4 out of 10 for the probability factor of Choudhury as well. Jonathan Young says not forgiving Choudhury for the foul on Ritchie. So please keep your comments in. Remember, we do have the WhatsApp, which you can see at the bottom of your screen. Great to see Jay and Atlanta, who's a keen subscriber, admirer, if I want to call it that, and we are of him as well. So thanks for coming. We love Jay. We do. The guys love Jay. He always says nice stuff as well. So remember, have your fire over your WhatsApp to get your message read out. The next one is, and I like him, which is Fikayo Tomori on loan. We have been linked to him over December, and it's come back around once again. This is the Chronicle have claimed this back. It's an area problem, Sam, that we have had for probably a couple of years. Obviously, I mentioned Lejeune a little bit earlier. The injuries to Fabian Schär. You've got Ciaran Clark who's in and out the side, despite him playing well. Lascelles with the COVID situation. Is it an area that Newcastle are going to focus on, do you feel?
No. Partly because we're coming out the other side now of a bit of an injury crisis there, aren't we? We've got a bit of, when everyone's fit, we've got tremendous strength in depth at centre back, especially when our best centre back's out on loan. Were we in need of centre-back, then yes, Tomori would be one of the, top of the list. I think now, though, he will be staying at Chelsea because Christensen's picked up a knock, hasn't he? And could be out for a while. So I can't see this one happening just for that reason. But Clark needs to sign a new deal. Fernandes needs to sign a new deal. Cher needs to sign a new deal. They're all out of contract at the end of the season. So I don't think centre-backs for this window, but it might be for the summer because Fernandes is getting on. Question marks about whether he'll be offered an extension.
Clark's definitely going to get one.
Clark will sign.
Bruce has already said that today, hasn't he?
Yeah, confident about Clark staying. Cher's the one. I'm not sure he'll stay. I don't know. I don't know how close that is, or if anything's going to happen. But it's an area I think that may need some focus in the summer, but not for now. So I'm going this 1 out of 10. I cannot see it happening.
It's not happening from Sam's point of view.
I don't think it's happening. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be against it, against the player coming in, that is. But I just can't see it happening.
Nope, you cannot say it. Funny enough, we're talking about Ciaran Clark next, because he is the latest one that Crystal Palace have been monitoring Ciaran Clark's contract situation. Clark is out of contract in the summer, we know that, but as I've just literally said, Bruce has hinted that Newcastle are talking to him. It's the first one out of the big guys who are running out of contract at the end of the summer. Clark is the first one that we're chatting to, so I think that'll happen. He's 31, but he's never put a foot wrong. We talk about the consistency that he brings. I can't see it happening. I can't. I think Clark is in and out of the side if everybody is fit, but at the age of 31, I think he's content. I think he's okay. I think he would like to play more, but I think he'll sign that contract for me.
3-year deal. You watch. 3-year deal.
It's quite long for 31-year-old.
Yeah, centre-back. That takes him to 34. Plenty. But I've noticed you've replaced the GIF I used on that tweet. Yeah,
I replaced it with actually a picture, yeah.
Boring.
Because a picture just looks a bit better than a GIF.
Yeah, but the GIF, for ones that haven't seen it, which you really should have if you don't follow us on Twitter, but please do. It was of Hot Fuzz with the jog on thing.
Well, I didn't want that GIF in case copyright came, but no, we'll put Ciaran Clark on there.
Well, that's why I described it. But yeah, no, Crystal Palace can jog on. He's staying with us, Ciaran Clark.
I'm going to score this one a 2 out of 10 probability. The only thing I can see potentially happening is if Clark isn't happy with the terms, and then the club might cash in, but I cannot see it. I can't. So I think this will be a 2 out of 10 for the probability of Crystal Palace landing Ciaran Clark. It is not happening. Right then, okie dokie. Ben says, get this lad a new contract. He's stepping up every season. Yeah, he's fantastic. And why is he not a regular on the Irish side, which puzzles me because there's some poor centre-backs in Ireland for me. The next one, which we were linked to this young lad. To be honest, Sam, I don't know much about him. Alan Velasco. I've got the stat on our Y Scout platform that we do have. The only thing I could probably imagine that is we're going kind of down like the Rodrigo Vilca route, where we're trying to pinch young talent from South America and develop them. I say develop, really. Chances of this happening? Just 8 games, 3 goals?
Well, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on Argentinian grassroots football. Again, like you've done there, you can draw similarities to Vilca. Whether or not it'll happen, I doubt it. I did read that we were in the race to sign him, but we were by no means winning that race. I think Parma were the favourites to sign him. So that he could be heading to Italy instead of us. Have you seen much of him on Y-Scout, or is it just the stats?
It's the stats. He plays for the first team, so 3 goals in 8 appearances. He started off well for Independiente, who are one of the bigger boys in Argentina, but I just can't see it. I think we've got Vilca, and he's on the list, actually, which we'll talk about him in a second. I think the club a little bit unsure what they're going to do with him. So what we're scoring here, I think this will be pretty low.
Yeah, it is. I've gone for 3.
A 3 out of 10. I would have probably scored that lower, to be honest, but yeah, a 3
Yeah,
out of 10.
just in case, because of that Vilca link as well, it could be an avenue that the club decide to be going down, but it's still unlikely for me.
Yeah, cool. Keep your comments in. Remember, we've got the WhatsApp as well. We'll be reading them out shortly. This lad has been linked quite a bit for the past week now. The Shields Gazette claim that a framework for a loan deal from Brandon Williams has been agreed. Not potential, not it could be, it has been agreed between Newcastle and Manchester United. The lad is a little bit out of touch with the first team because they've got Luke Shaw and they've got Telos, the new signing from left back. You can also play right back. A lot of people are forgetting that on Twitter because they keep slagging this lad off, and I think he's the option where you can play left or right, and I think he's better left back than what Manquillo is, where Manquillo can switch both left and right. I think Williams will be a little bit more, versatile and used to that, comfortable. I could see this happening because it's an area, Sam, where we are very weak at.
Yeah, we need strength in depth. We've got 3 right backs, none of which can really hold down a place in the squad. Jamal Lewis has struggled a bit since he's come in, and now he's picked up a knock as well. And we've got no backup left back apart from Dummett, who I consider to be a centre back more than anything now. I don't know about you, but yeah, I can see this one happening. Probably the most realistic one, but certainly the ones we've spoken about so far. Yeah, it could be something in it.
What would we score at this? I'm probably thinking 7 to 8.
7.5 then.
Go on then. I think it's probably a deal I could say happening because he's not playing first team football and we're weak in those 2 positions, and he can play left or right, as I say. So I think it'll be a sensible option and a little bit more competition, but we do need people to leave. We must stress because we do have a full 25-man squad, so people do have to leave the football club before we can register them, or people will get deregistered. Feels like I'm playing Football Manager all our again. Next one, Rodrigo Vilca. Obviously, we just talked about Alan Velasco just before. Carlisle are rumoured to be chasing Rodrigo Vilca on loan. There's a little bit of doubt with it. Some people are saying that it is. The Chronicle say it hasn't been agreed yet. I've seen a few people mention on Twitter that they don't like the Elias Sorensen situation where he went to Carlisle and barely kicked a football. I've seen him a lot of clips in the under-23s. I think the level is a little bit too easy for him. He can go past player. Passing isn't great. He does give the ball away a little bit. But the lad is talented. 21, I think. In all honesty, I wouldn't actually mind him going to like a La Liga side. Well, not a La Liga, like the Segunda division. I wouldn't be against that because he speaks the language. But if you need to get used to English football, is Carlisle a bad option because it'll toughen him up?
It's not a bad option, but yeah, you are spot on with it's something to be wary of after the Elias Sorensen debacle. Yeah, a loan move would be good, first team football and whatnot. It certainly wouldn't do the lad any harm. I'm gonna grade it 6 out of 10 because I think a loan move would be good for him just for kind of 6 months or so. See how he gets on. Arguably guarantees in football as well, because with everything that's going on with COVID, you could easily see reserve games knocked on the head.
Which is probably a real factor. There's still a little bit of what's happening with the under-23s and women's football as well. So I think getting him out on loan will be a good thing. He's either going to sink or swim, and we didn't pay much to get him. So if he is a failure, it was only $250,000 if he does. But yeah. he does look talented. A bit like Elliot Anderson looks talented as well. So does Stan Flaherty as well. Those lads will be fantastic and get a loan spell out. Vilca will never be a first team player as long as Steve Bruce has a hole in his such and such. Why they even considered him is staggering above Elliot Anderson. He's head and shoulders a better prospect. Thank you very much. And that was Laughing Gravy. Good comment. I like that. The next lad that we're going to talk about is Dwight Gayle. He's always linked. Scott Parker has hinted in the last 24 hours that they want a striker come in for whatever reason. Mitrovic has not cut it. It's been dropped for a lot of games.
He's in the bad books as well, Mitrovic, isn't he? Because he went out and broke COVID rules, didn't he?
He did. I could see why they want Dwight Gayle. It's believable, I believe, but it's got to be suicidal, Sam, if we allow Gayle to go to a rival who, let's forget, Fulham win their game in hand. We're right in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tricky. I mean, Dwight Gayle gets linked to a move away every transfer window since we've come back to the Premier League. Good squad player for the Premier League. Nothing more than that, really. We know his level. He's lethal in the Championship. Not quite consistent enough in the Premier League, but again, you don't want to be strengthening what could be your relegation rivals. I mean, Tuesday's game is going to tell us a lot about where we stand. I can't see it happening. I mean,
you see him getting a new deal, or do you just see him running down his contract and that's it, he's off?
We had this discussion a while back on that. It was after the West Brom game where he scored the winner, didn't he? About whether to give him a new deal or not. A lot of people said they would. I wouldn't. On the proviso that we need someone to come in, whether or not we're going to get someone else in to improve. Because again, if you're aiming for the top 10 of the Premier League, is Dwight Gayle the man to fire you there? Not really. And we need someone with a bit more quality if, Wilson gets injured, or someone to play alongside Wilson even. So I can't see it happening in January because of that point alone. It'd be suicidal. Same reason as Andy Carroll's not going to West Brom, put it that way.
Yeah. You can score that probability factor then what you score on that.
1.
A 1 out of 10 chance, 10% that Dwight Gayle's leaving. I agree, Sam. I think he is the second best striker at the club, but he's just not fancied by Rafa and Steve Bruce, and contracts winding down. You've got to remember, I think he's one of the highest earners. He's in the top 5 because when he went out on loan to West Brom, he also got a pay rise for signing that 1-year deal, and I'm sure he's on 57k a week.
That wouldn't surprise me, but if we do
he's on high money.
If the worst does happen and we do go down, then you give him a new deal because you need him in the Championship, don't you?
Yeah, guarantees of goals, but yeah, I'll keep him to the end of the season. But I think we need to move Dwight Gayle on. Unfortunately, it's just for him, not for Newcastle. For him, he's just not playing football. Next one, Marcus Rojo, and again another Manchester United. See, it's just all Manchester United players, isn't it? Don't worry, I don't have Phil Jones in this list, so you can all relax. Marcus Rojo, I can't see this happening because he is linked to going back to Boca Juniors, and that's a very, very strong link. I know they're not on that list, but they are heavily linked the last 48 hours, and he did go back out on loan to back in Argentina. I'm not sure who the club is on screen. I think it's Independiente, I could be wrong on that. Please let us know in the comments. Newcastle, Elche, and Sheffield United want him on loan. Again, I could see that you can play at left back, you can play at centre back. But I just can't see this happening. Can you?
No. I quite like the player, to be honest. I think he's quite decent. Not an option for centre back for us, but maybe left back. He'd do a job. I wouldn't be against it by any means. But again, probability wise, I'd say it was quite unlikely.
I'll score it with 0 out of 10. I'm that confident it is not happening. Marcus Rojo is not coming to Newcastle. Clip this down, put it on Twitter at the end of the transfer window. If I look
I will. Don't worry about that.
I'm sure you will, but it is not happening. Marcus Rojo is not coming to Newcastle. We'll stay on rumours as well, and then we'll also talk a little bit about Rolando Aarons and a couple of stuff away from the club. And we've just seen Liam in the back room there. He's dropped out. He will come back in. And remember your WhatsApp as well. You can see the number on screen, which is 07476497166. We're going to be reading the WhatsApp out in about 10 minutes' time, roughly, where we'll read them out. The next rumour... well, it's not so much a rumour now, Sam, because our Sam Allardyce has squashed the rumour. Andy Carroll was linked to West Brom yesterday. Sam Allardyce spoke and said he doesn't think Andy Carroll is available. They want to go on the transfer for a foreign signing. So we'll probably agree that's a 0.
Yeah, if we're not doing minuses, then absolute man, that is a 0.
Yeah, he's not going, is he? Because Sam Allardyce has said that. And again, you mentioned obviously Gayle and the situation with Carroll. I could see actually.
Would you give Carroll another year?
I was about to say I could see it happening, but I don't think. I think it'll be similar to what he is now, where he's not getting much game time and he'll be given 10 to 15 minutes here and there. But
I would be starting him on Tuesday.
What, against Sheffield United? Do you not think they'll want that though?
I would be starting him and Wilson up front on Tuesday against Sheffield United.
Done brilliantly last time when we were down Bramall Lane last year. That was brilliant scenes. It was absolutely fantastic. We'll stay on the transfer rumours as well. A right back, and this lad was obviously at Everton last season, Jibril Sidibe.
It's rubbish.
Well, he plays for France, and wasn't he not in the French World Cup squad? So,
yeah, okay.
So he must have something a little bit about him. Again, it's a position where we are struggling, but I don't really trust Mercato. I don't think they get much right. I'm very curious of French media reporters as well as Turkish. I just don't rate them. I can't say this happening, Sam.
No chance. No, there's just 1,000 times no, not going to happen. Either can't afford him or just no, 0 out of 10. No, end of.
There we go. That's that one settled as well. A couple more to rattle through before we talk about there's a couple of off the field stuff. Then we're bringing in Liam as well. Joshua King, it's an interesting one because Brandon mentioned this in the video. We've got a clip of Brandon again to play again before we bring Liam in. Joshua King has been heavily linked to Newcastle. He is a free agent in the summer. He can play left, right as a forward. He can play through the middle as well. We just seem to be bring all the Bournemouth brigade back. We've got Richie, Wilson, Fraser. Just bring in King. I'm not against it, but depending how much the fee is, Sam, do you bring him on loan with a transfer fee? If you know what I mean, like pay $2 million for the rest of the season, then make it permanent, or do you put money down?
I'm not against this deal, but I think this lad will end up at West Ham.
It's just a typical West Ham signing.
It is it is a typical West Ham signing. They've just sold Haller, so they've got a space up in that position. West Ham have been linked, as well as ourselves and West Brom. I wouldn't be against it. I mean, I don't want to sign the whole Bournemouth squad, Jesus, because let's face it, they did go down last season. Decent player. I think Man United one of the ones looking at him before they got Igalo in on loan.
They did, sure they went for Carroll.
Yeah, decent player. Would it certainly add strength in depth, wouldn't he? He'd probably get you more goals than Joe Linton and Carroll if Carroll stays fit. So yeah, it wouldn't be bad. I don't think it'll happen personally. I can, as I say, see him going to West Ham.
Shall we score this one? Do you want me to score this one?
Okay. What are you giving?
I think it's more probable than not. So 6 to 7. So I could see the logic behind it.
I can see the logic behind it. I just don't think it'll happen. It's a good logical move, especially out of contract in the summer, so he won't cost the earth in theory. But yeah, I've just got a feeling he's going to go elsewhere. But yeah, I wouldn't be against the deal by any stretch.
6.5. And the last one for the transfer rumours is Sam's favourite player, which is Bo selector Michael Jackson. Jesse Lingard has been linked to Newcastle by The Guardian today. First of all, not for me. Attacking player, 28, a lot of experience, played for England, but for me, his career has went really downhill the last 2 to 3 years. And would he actually improve us? Is he any better than ASM? Is he any better than Fraser? Is he any better than Almiron? That may be a debate, Almiron perhaps, but not for me. Don't want to see this happening.
No, I don't either. But I can see the reason for the link, because it's the kind of player we need, I suppose. Someone like attacking midfielder who can slip into that number 10 position as well. But not the right person. This is the problem with January. You're not going to get anyone good that's playing regular first team football and showing their quality. You're going to be looking at players that aren't getting a game and are needed to be moved on by their parent club. So I can see Bruce definitely going to Man United and asking the question about his availability, and Man United doing some number crunching. But I'm not a fan of the lad by any stretch of the imagination.
I don't think it'll happen.
I think he's more interested in selling clothes on Instagram or whatever he does. But yeah, I mean, Jonathan Young says he's better than Joe Linton, but I would argue Hosselu's better than Joe Linton. I would. Yeah, I know. But, you know, I would argue he's better than Joe Linton. But
what was scoring this? I think it's got to be 0-1. It can't be any higher.
Well, it depends. Is it the score on how much we want the player or whether it'll happen or not?
Will it happen? Are the club really looking at that position?
Yeah.
I don't feel
it. I went down the middle, 5 out of 10.
That's quite high. I wouldn't have went that high. I would have went really low.
I would, because I could see it's a fairly logical move. It is a position that we're looking at. It's just not the right player for me. But how many players in that position are genuinely going to be available?
Very little. We'll bring in Liam in a second. We've got a couple of other non-football related stuff with the club, off the field stuff, and then we'll talk about the Arsenal game. This is Brandon. You've probably seen this clip, but this is him talking about transfer targets.
I would say on the left back side, for sure we need people in. I would definitely go for Jethro Willems, my fellow countryman. He's flirting with us. He sounds like he's want to go and come back to us. So I would definitely go for him. Besides that, another prospect I would say is Denzel Dumfries. Although, as he comes as well from PSV Eindhoven, he's probably has a price tag around 20 million, so I don't see actually paying that for him. But if we can get a loan from him for PSV Eindhoven, I would definitely take it. I cannot see that happen, but I would all day go for Jethro Willems. Besides that, we definitely need someone in front next to Callum Wilson, because he's lacking up in front. He's struggling over there. He needs someone from the midfield probably as well, but I cannot really think about who we should bring in there. If I have to name someone who we could use in front, it has to be Josh King. Although I don't think I'm not sure if there's a price tag for him. It probably is. But if you can get him on loan somehow, I don't think Bournemouth will do that. But if it would be great. And if somehow Mike actually finds some money in his pocket, I would definitely pay down for Josh King. Let's see if he wants to reunite with Callum Wilson and Ryan Fraser. That's a plus for us, that he might want to come to us to see his fellow teammates. But I cannot really see it happen. It's going to be a long season, lads. But Lee, that's it.
And that was Brandon. Anybody who's Dutch, just sign them. Just sign them. Even if they speak double Dutch. He just loves them. We are joined by the man who wears that gown with class. How are you, Liam?
I'm fine, myself. How are you?
I'm all right. A lot better now. Playing a little violin as I feel a bit better. So Liam's joined the show. We're going to carry on talking about. Actually, we'll confirm a couple of transfers as well. And we haven't really talked about this one. As Rolando Aarons has left the club officially. Liam, we'll start with you on this. What's your thoughts on his career at Newcastle?
Injury prone, because I know he was getting a quick good run of spells the season went down, and then I didn't realise he was actually injured for the whole of the championship season. So I think if he wasn't injured, he would be in the first team now.
Yeah, you had a massive chunk out. We've talked about that. Me and Sam just before about it. Went off injured, didn't he? And he was out for like 4 or 5 months, and Atsu made that position his own on the left flank. But I think he is talented. and he just missed out on Steve Bruce's squad last season. He was the 26th option, effectively. It has been a lot of clubs. You talk Italy, you talk bizarrely, he was in the Czech Republic, Scotland, Wickham, which I found very strange. He come a bit of a journeyman, and he's only 25. Sam, how do you rate his career?
So frustrating. As Liam said, injury prone. It burst onto the scene. I remember him in a pre-season friendly against Schalke. He was absolutely superb. Then got that chance against Man City, took it with both hands, got on the score sheet. Absolutely superb that night. Just injuries, fallout injuries, just so frustrating. He's got potential. I mean, what is he now? 25.
Yeah.
How many years is it wasted through injury? And yeah, really frustrating.
Problems as well.
If he can stay fully fit, then it would come as no surprise to me if we add him to a list of really good players that we've let go, like your Mbabus. Yeah, I mean, the list goes on and on. We all know who they are.
Just need Joe Kinnear back and go, ooh, he's a good player.
I know. Did you see on his Instagram post when Ivan Toney said, "I've got so much to say, but I'm not going to say it"? So there's obviously stuff going on in the background. You know.
He's another one, isn't he, Ivan Toney, who never got a fair crack of the whip. And look at him now. He's. I'd love to see him and Wilson play together up front, but yeah, c'est la vie.
No, it's a shame, isn't it? But yeah, Rolando Aarons has departed the club. And another lad, which was announced earlier on today, that Newcastle have pinched official Jay Turner-Cook, who joined from Sunderland and goes straight in academy. Now, this lad actually kicked off, if you remember, on Twitter, where his dad was effectively let go after 20-odd years, something like 24-year, 26-year of...
I think it was longer than that.
Was he a physio? He was a physio or something, wasn't he? His dad.
I think it was like 30-odd years or something. It was
crazy. Wow. And then he was just let go, and not told. And then he ranted on Twitter about the way Sunderland treat. I mean, it's a shocking way to treat anybody, no matter what job you're in. But we might have grabbed a prospect here because he has played for Sunderland in the 23s. And I know both of our under 23 squads are not great, but it's a lad that might have talent. So the only thing that we could do, look, we don't know much about the lad. We're not going to pretend we're experts, but what we can say is that we'll wish the lad well, but got no idea.
It comes to something when you come in here for the moral high ground. Jesus.
Well, if he's a Mackham and he comes to our club, he's been brave. He's been very, very brave. I don't know if he's Mackham or Geordie, so please let us know in the comments as well. Remember, we do have your WhatsApp, which we'll read now in a second. Just going to quickly rattle through some other news. Speaking of transfers, Steve Bruce, ready for this? Well, we've got one or two things which might materialise. You know, I can't see much being done. We'll keep working away. So that's what Steve Bruce says. Well, we all agreement that we think it's going to be loans, Liam, if we do bring anyone in.
Yeah, definitely. I think I seen a tweet the day, or someone tweeted something saying that we used the loan system quite well last season. I'm sure the free loans we got in weren't very good, but it's definitely going to be loans. We're not going to be spending 20-30 million this winter,
Yeah, Bentley pops out straight away when you say loan for some reason. Not very good. But having said that,
so I'll probably just take him just for cover. As long as as long as Matty gets in this team, Matty and Hayden.
No, I'd rather see Elliot Anderson in the squad than Bentaleb.
I'd rather shake my hands and clap and see Bentaleb.
No, thank you. No, thank you whatsoever. Speaking of transfer/poaching, this came as a surprise for quite a few people that Chelsea are plotting. Now, it's illegal. The Premier League rules that you can't actually have a training centre officially outside of an hour's drive, I believe it is. But this sort of stuff of poaching youngsters is always going to happen. Obviously, the Brexit makes things a lot more harder for clubs to sign younger talent. And this is from Craig Hope, who says that Newcastle City Juniors have struck a partnership with Chelsea, that if there's any talented youngsters that come through their ranks, which is on Newcastle's doorstep, Chelsea can just say, come to daddy, you're all mine. Liam, is this alarming?
Well, definitely, because did Man U not have a similar thing up in where I'm sure Andy Carroll was at the Man U one? Just seems like our best talent's going to go down south. And why wouldn't you? Because they're going to offer like triple whatever we pay them.
I think you mean Carrick, don't you? Not Carroll.
No, I'm sure Andy Carroll was at a Man U, like affiliated club sort of thing. I'm sure he was.
Yeah, but we cannot let all our talent move because, I mean, we don't bring enough youngsters through. And now you've got the Longstaffs and Dummett and Carroll came back, and Gillespie. But overall, if you look at the last decade, there hasn't been many that came through. So it is a little bit alarming for that one. Again, let us know in the comments as well. The last one before we read out some of your WhatsApp is Saint-Maximin. He's back. And again, Craig Hope has said that the club have squashed this tonight. They've put a statement out. Saint-Maximin was back, and obviously he was pictured in Sainsbury's. And has he broken COVID? Has he not? Look, the lad was out shopping for food for his family. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And the club have come out and backed him, which is a statement which Sam put out on Twitter a little bit earlier on. Following a media request from the media, Newcastle can confirm ESM did not basically break any quarantine rules during a visit to Sainsbury's, which is in Newcastle. So it's as you are, but just talking about ESM, he's back, Sam.
Yeah.
Bruce said today that I think it'll be a couple more weeks until he's ready. It's got to be positive news. I know he's been off form with the wing backs, but still positive, isn't it?
It is, because we need him. We'll just look so blunt going forward without him half the time. But it's amazing how quick the club put the statement out. I mean, they keep us dangling for months on end about refunds for season tickets and takeovers and this, that, and the other. But no, ASM, bang, hours later, statement. There you go. But no, it's good. He's going to almost have another kind of pre-season in a way, because I think Bruce said in his presser today he's not done anything for 6-7 weeks. Nothing. And COVID can affect your lung capacity and your cardio ability. So it's going to have to be built up again like it was with Lascelles. Yeah.
Right, so let's have a look at the poll. Remember, you can jump on our Twitter and have your say on Newcastle's prediction, which we're going to be talking about next, the Arsenal game. So still, it's an easy win for Arsenal. A lot of you are saying nearly 81% yes. Arsenal win on pens, just 2%. Newcastle scrape a win and go through, 13.8%. Not very confident. Newcastle to win on penalties, 3.3%. So, yeah. Not many people are going to say it's going to be Newcastle, which doesn't surprise none of us as well. Let's have a look at what is it being saying on WhatsApp. Remember, this is the place where we will read your questions out and we'll answer them as well. Liam, you can start. Darlow or Dubravka?
Oh, what, for tomorrow?
I think it just means in general. I think so.
Dubravka.
Why?
Well, just because he's class. I think he's shown it. Obviously, Darlow's shown that he can do it, but I think Dubravka's that like next step up. I think it's just in terms of class. I think sometimes the saves you'll make that see Dubravka make, and you're just thinking like, how's he saved that? Do you know what I mean?
I think for me, it's for Darlow's to lose for me.
Yeah.
And then he deserves it. But thank you very much. That was from Unknown. The next one is from another Unknown. Says, hi lads, who do you think is the most likely transfer Newcastle will make? Sam?
Well, that's more difficult than the Darlow or Dubravka. God knows. Who knows?
Phil Jones.
Oh God, no. That's not going to happen. I mean, Brandon Williams possibly is the only one that we've heard anything remotely concrete on, and we know it's a position wing back that we know we need to strengthen. So should one of the right backs disappear this January, then that could be one that happens on loan.
Yeah, okay, cool, thanks for that. Right, next one is from Unknown, who sent us in, we need a Super Mac type player up front. Are you kidding me? We've got obviously Wilson, we need another goal scorer, so I kind of disagree. Super Mac, obviously it was his birthday just a couple of days ago, and he was on the channel in the summer. So I kind of disagree. We need another goal scorer. Kind of just rely on Wilson. And Jonathan Young, who's also in the comments, I believe, as well. I've seen his name pop up. I'll give this one back to Liam. If we lose tomorrow night, The pressure is on Bruce going into the Sheffield United game will be huge. At this moment in time, I just can't see us winning on Tuesday, a draw at best. Bookies actually have Sheffield United as slight favourites too, even though they haven't even won a game this season. Liam, what's your thoughts on that?
There's no if we lose tomorrow. There's when we lose tomorrow, I think, is the mindset I think most Newcastle fans got. But I think if we lose against Sheffield United, there's going to be absolutely hell on. They haven't won a game, and then it's not like they're playing particularly well. They're a poor side. I think they got lucky last season because of how well Dean Henderson was playing. So for me, I would try and rest the big stars. I would rest like Wilson, Miggy tomorrow and just go at them on Tuesday. But Bruce is probably going to try to go after a cup to try and keep like the fans on his side, like a decent little cup run. But I can't see it against Arsenal because they've won like the last 3 games.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that now. So remember the WhatsApp, we've just read some out. We'll read some out at the end of the show, which will be about 15, 20 minutes, maybe 25 if we are overrun. But you can see the number on your screen there, which is 0747 649 7166. We will definitely read out your messages. Right, okay then. So I think we'll begin then. You mentioned there, Liam, I'll come back to you. You mentioned Arsenal are in a bit of a rich vein of form. They've won 3. Is that what you're worried about? Because the back winning games?
Yeah, I think these 2 games against Arsenal are looking a lot better, like about 2 weeks ago. But now it just seems like Arsenal are back. So
and the winning.
I think both of them were gonna lose.
Yeah. Well, what we're doing? What you're going to say something there, Sam?
No, it's just eternal optimism. It's just brilliant that they've found their form when we're down to play them. It's just great, good for them.
I know. Let's have a look at the recent fixtures from the last 6. So, obviously the draw with Southampton, the defeat against Everton, and then the defeat against Manchester City. So a few tough games there, but they've came out with a fantastic win against Chelsea, away win against Brighton and West Brom, which you would probably think they should win that. So they're back winning games as well. But what's alarmed me is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Sam, has only scored 3 goals all season.
Yeah, it's been a bit quiet, hasn't he? I mean, cue him scoring a hat-trick tomorrow. But for his standards, that is quiet. Thing is, whenever I look at him, I just remember we were linked so heavily to him before he joined Dortmund in the Guardiola era, weren't we? Same with Lacazette. Yeah. But yeah, he's obviously a quality player and not one to be taken lightly, despite his kind of quiet goal scoring record so far this season. I mean, that squad's still filled with quality, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll have a look at the squad a little bit more in detail. This is from whoscored.com. So creating chances through balls, defending set pieces, protecting the lead. They claim they're strong at. Weaknesses defending the counter-attacks, defending against through balls, skillful players, and aerial duels. Very weak. I know Sam's already said he wants to see Big Andy Carroll for Sheffield United. Would you not think start both of them? Or is that too much for Andy Carroll?
I think tomorrow's a game for Dwight Gayle. And I'll be honest, my priority would lie at Sheffield United because about the cup run, well, your chance was at Brentford and that was completely flummoxed, big time. I don't think this is a realistic chance. I mean, don't get me wrong, it would be nice if we got a result. I just think tomorrow I would go for Gayle personally. And like Liam said, just rest a couple. But I think Tuesday's a game for Andy Carroll personally.
Yeah. If you look at Arsenal, how they set up 3-4-3 8 times this season and a 4-2-3-1 7 times this season. Liam, how do you think they're going to set up? Are they going to play 4-2-3-1 or are they going to play 3 at the back? Last match they played, it looks like, if it doesn't want to load, I think it's 3-4-3 that they would play.
I think they'll go attacking me. I think they'll go on 3 at the back. No,
right, just go for it.
They'll just go for it. Why wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? We're not won a game in 6 games. That makes sense. Yeah, it does. Well, I would go for it. What's going to happen? That we'll get like an odd fluky goal against, like when was goal against Man U.
You look at that squad, Liam. I mean, there's still plenty of talent in that squad, and they're struggling. I know they've won 3 in the bounce, but for Arsenal to be down so far where they are, practically over probably 2/3 of that squad would start for Newcastle. Who jumps out at you? Obviously, we mentioned Aubameyang. Is anybody else in the Arsenal side that you got to be wary of?
Willian, and that's Saka, I think he's called, the young English lad.
Yeah.
Him.
You know that? Supports Newcastle. His dad drilled it in when he was a youngster, and he supports the Toon. So there you go.
Really?
Yeah, he's a Toon supporter.
Why is he at Arsenal then? Like, how are he? You know what I mean?
London lad, isn't he? Saka, Willian, any for you, Sam? Lacazette, you mentioned.
Thomas Partey is fit and should be playing tomorrow, which, again, great news for Arsenal. Good for them. I really like Kieran Tierney.
Yeah, scored a great goal the other week, didn't he?
Yeah, I really like this guy. Real quality player, and he'll be on the left-hand side of the 3. I agree, they'll play 3 at the back, and he can do it all. He's up there with Chilwell for me, for the real, and Robertson for the real good kind of left-sided defenders.
Have they got too many average players, Liam? They've got some great players as well, but have they got a lot of people on the bench out of the team who are just average? Whereas if you look at a Chelsea or a Man United or an Arsenal, they've got better players to come in and rotate.
See, I think they've got average and poor. I think there's a lot of poor players in that team for being like an Arsenal team. So if you look at that Greek kid, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's terrible.
Socrates.
Willis. David Luiz is terrible. And that Egyptian lad, El Neni, I think he's called. He's shocking. But then I think you've got like Rob Holding. I don't think he's anything great. So like he's like an average player. And I think we've got average. I think we've got average to poor. They've got average to poor on the bench. Like if you look at Chelsea's team, they're all world class players. I don't think apart from the starting 11, there's not world class players in that team.
Yeah, strong rumours Mesut Ozil will be on his way out as well in January. He's picking up something like nearly 400 grand a week, which is mental. Let's take a look at the league table. I know it's not a league game, but you can see where Arsenal, after a few wins, and they probably needed that because just a couple of weeks back they were behind Newcastle. Obviously, we've got to keep an eye on what Fulham do because if Fulham win their game in hand, it's only 5 points. So not quite squeaky bum time, but we just need to keep an eye on that. But Arsenal won't get on that, try and get in the Europa League positions at least. But if you look at that top of the league, you probably say the top 8, 9, 10, even 10 clubs, even West Ham might have a shout for Europe as well because there's not much points in it, but that's the league standings where they are. Let's have a look at Newcastle, because since we've been talking a little bit about Arsenal and with recent form as well.
Do we have to?
Yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it? I mean, we're not scoring many goals. We've scored, 4 goals from the last 6 games? And we've conceded, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11. So nearly an average 2 every game, and we're barely scoring any goals. We know where the problems lie, of course. Our form isn't great. Do you expect... We've already kind of said that'll go to 7 games now. And the Sheffield United one, is that... What happens if we don't win at Sheffield United?
He's got to go.
Doesn't have to go already.
Well, if he didn't before, he will have to after Sheffield United. That is his biggest game of his Newcastle United tenure so far. That game will hedge a lot of. It will solve a lot of where we're going to be kind of finishing this season, whether or not we're going to be in a relegation battle or not. You mentioned there, Fulham win their game in hand, it's down to 5 points. So at the moment, it's just a gap that we've got to be mindful of. I've said before that it just stinks of a Derby County and a Kenny Miller 30-yard wonder goal. I don't know who Sheffield United's equivalent of Kenny Miller is. But, yeah, look, Yeah, I mean, we went and did the double over them last season, so we should be beating them again. They're terrible as well this season, but yeah, this one's just a free hit. It's not, like I said before, your cup run chance was Brentford, and that got royally screwed up. This is a free swing of the bat, and it's a chance to kind of get some players involved that haven't been playing lately, and kind of save your real main assets for Tuesday.
Are we all saying then we're not going to be? Of course, we're going to be disappointed. Of course, we are, but we're not going to be too upset because we're expecting to go out. Would you say that's right, Liam? Is that the right mindset that Toon fans have got?
I would still expect a decent performance, and if we're lost, there should be still a lot of passion and a lot of desire to try and win the game. But if we go out 2-0, fair enough. If we go out 6-0, then may as well have just said, well, I'm not playing, I'll just forfeit the game. Do you know what I mean? I think it's the way we lose, not it's the way we lose. Doesn't matter if we lose, I think it's the way. If we just roll over and just take it, then it's just, well, do you know what I mean? It's just pointless.
Yeah, you can see some of the stats. Our second top goal scorer is Jeff Hendrick. Yeah. Does that not tell you 1,000 words? Jeff Hendrick.
And then ASM, that's been out for like 5, 6, 7 games in the Premier League.
I was saying to Sam before, where midfield needs to start chipping in with goals because they're just not contributing enough. You cannot rely on Wilson.
Well, Wilson, I think Wilson's been poor the last couple of weeks.
Probably because he's not getting the service. I mean, you would play poor on this squad, surely.
Yeah.
Match out was wing backs over the course of the season. You can see here whoscored.com. We've played wing backs in total in 8 times. 7 times 4-4-2, but surely, Sam, it's wing backs again, isn't it?
I would have thought so, and I would hope we'd be back for 4 at the back on Tuesday. But yeah, I'm fully expecting wing backs again tomorrow. I just want to see a spirited performance, which is not what we've got recently. Just a bit of effort and have some effort, tenacity, a bit of spark on the pitch, that's all. We know Arsenal are heavy favourites, and the vast likelihood is that we will lose, but it's the manner that we've been going about games lately which has been the most disappointing thing, and that's what we need to see tomorrow.
Liam, who do you see? You can see the side that were played last time out. Who is coming in? Dubravka, we know. Bruce has already said that. Where else do you see people coming in and out?
I see Sean staying in, Matty going out. Maybe Murphy starting, and I think Richie might get dropped as well. But I don't really know who we've got and who we haven't got anymore, to be fair.
Well, Lewis is definitely in the game.
Oh, that's a shame.
Aye, not his biggest fan. Mankio will come in.
If he's fit, yeah, I would give Mankio a decent run because hopefully then it might give Yedlin some competition for the same position.
And what about the captain? He's fit. Will he play?
I would probably give him half an hour. Like a second half sub, give him half an hour because he's just the same as ASM, isn't he? But I think he's back a bit quicker because obviously he had the COVID. So I would give him half an hour, but I don't think I would play 3 at the back. I think I'll probably just go 4-4-2.
Love to see Newcastle attack. Sam, just speaking of the captain, Jamal Lascelles, obviously Bruce said he's back past training. Doctors have given the go-ahead. Do you see him starting this game, or do you see him maybe play a half? And because I think there's no doubt he comes in for Sheffield United. I think he starts at Sheffield United.
It's a tricky one. I see him starting tomorrow and not playing at Sheffield United. I'm the opposite to you. We know Bruce can just chuck you in like he did with Cher when he came back for COVID. I do like Lascelles. I know he wasn't in the greatest of form before his injuries and then he got COVID, but as long as he's in there, he will stick up and call things out for what they are, like he did with Steve McLaren. So I think he'll start tomorrow. He might not last the whole game, similar to with what happened with Fernandes when he first came back from COVID. But I don't think there's anything wrong with Clark and Fernandez or Clark and Sherry even for Sheffield United.
Yeah, I was just seeing a few WhatsApp messages come through. So this is your last call out: 07476497166. About 5 minutes. We'll be reading them out. We'll just take a look what Bruce has quickly said regarding the injuries, not transfers. We've covered transfers, but we'll have a look at these the injuries. If I just switch it to the club. So a bit of team news. Yes, he's said that there's going to be a few changes tomorrow. Dubravka needs a game. He's back ready. And that needs to be that game. So he'll use that match. Could have done with an easier tie to get through at the next one, but we'll treat it with respect, obviously, that Arsenal deserve. As we've said, Jamal Lascelles is back. He's fit. He passes it. He's mentioned, obviously, Alan Saint-Maximin, who's back in the country, having suffered long COVID. He's also mentioned we've got a couple of knocks. Jamal Lewis has unfortunately took a knock. He won't make it. I actually think it'll be wing backs. I think Richie will stay in there. And Ryan Fraser, I can tell it's late, is edging towards it. You'll not make this weekend. And as far as COVID goes, we've had some good news. Jamal Lascelles, as I've said, he's been given the go-ahead. ESM's in the country, etc., etc.
I tell you what, I'd absolutely love if Ryan Fraser was, like, obviously just a precaution, not playing tomorrow. I'd bloody love if he was fit for Tuesday.
It'd be great because I think we missed that. For me, and I don't want to criticise loads of players, but I just think, I know Almiron's not playing in his position, but Almiron's been very off the ball this season for me. Yeah. He's looked incredibly average, and I think we've got a little bit of a problem with Almiron at the minute because I don't think he's going to play in his favourite position, which means he suffers and his performances are well below par. I know he grafts and he works hard, but the other end of the pitch, because of the system and the tactics that he's put under, for me, he's not offering nothing. He's just not. And I would love to see Ryan Fraser fit, but he's currently not. Where do you stand on that, Liam, about Almiron this season?
I agree with you. I think he's been dreadful. I think people say, oh, he can run a lot, he can make tackles and defend, but that's not his job. His job's to go the other way, realistically. That's just an added bonus that he can do it. So I would much prefer a player like Ben Arthur, where he's lazy going back, but then he's exceptional going forward. But with Miggy, for me, Miggy wants to leave. I don't think it came out of anywhere. Like his agent said he wanted to go to Inter Milan or AC Milan or whoever it was. It's got to come from somewhere. So for me, if they were saying Miggy would have left if it wasn't for COVID in the summer, so he's gone. I think he's just thinking, well, I'm biding my time here. I may as well just get the wage back and piss off.
I think with the tactics, the players are suffering as well. It's not just a Miggy thing. You can look at ESM with the wing backs, look at an average player who's a passenger. Joe Linton. Well, that's Joe Linton. I don't think that's a tactical thing, but I think there's a few players who
I think Joe Linton's got better recently. Like, I don't know if it's news, but I think his performances have been a lot better when he's with Callum Wilson.
Better, but it's not at the level at this level.
Yeah.
I think he has improved, but yeah, I think there's a few players who are suffering under Bruce Stevens. Sean Longstaff is probably another one. I think he's went a little bit backwards.
Been a lot of regression with them sort of players, hasn't there?
It has indeed. Let's have a look at what you're saying on WhatsApp, shall we? Let's pull that up. This is your last chance if you want to fire some messages across. And we'll read some of these out. Let's begin with hello, Newcastle Fans TV. Hello again. That was the Darlow Dubravka question a little bit earlier on. This one's from Unknown. I'll give this to you, Sam. I understand Steve Bruce is getting criticised a lot, but I think the players need to step up and wear that shirt with pride. But also, why do you think Newcastle are defensive in games? Since Alan Pardew left, we looked attacking and we went out to play football with pride and passion. Where do you stand on this, Sam?
I don't think we've gone defensive since Pardew left. I mean, Carver tried to play attacking. McLaren tried to play attacking. That went well. Even Rafa in the Championship. I mean, scored bloody 6 at QPR and still. Just because you go 5 at the back doesn't mean you have to be ultra defensive. It's the way you go about it. There's still sometimes under Rafa where 5 at the back was played and there was still an entertaining game. The comeback against Everton away at Fulham in particular. Those two spring to mind. The players do need to step up. Of course they do. There's been a lot of individual errors, of a lot of poor individual performances. But on the flip side of that, tactical awareness and just the shape of the team and what they're being asked to do, and certain personnel for certain games just isn't working. So I think there is a point there that, of course, the players need to do more, especially in that midfield. But I don't think Bruce's tactics are helping either.
I think he makes a good point about the players need to step up and wear the Newcastle shirt with pride, because
100%.
I look at that Newcastle squad and I don't think there's many. I don't think there's more than 5 that I say, do you know what, I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to wear this
that spine of the Championship side. It's them. They're the key. They're the key. They've been here so long now. They get it, obviously. Clark, Lascelles, Darlow even. For all his flaws, and I know he's been playing a bit shit lately, but Shelvey does love playing for Newcastle. Let's not get it wrong. He's had opportunities to go elsewhere, and he's been fully committed. It's just a shame that his performances haven't always shown it.
Yeah. Unknown, I think that's Lawrence, actually. I think that's Lawrence Taylor. Liam, what do you make of the lineup he would go for? Darlow in goal, Yedlin, Shea, Fernandez and Clark, Manquillo, Murphy, Hayden, Matty, Ritchie and Wilson. Surely Dubravka's got to give him the time to come back in this game.
What is that for tomorrow for Sheffield United?
I believe so, yeah. And then he's changed the system around for Sheffield United. Go 4-2-3-1.
Oh, okay. If it's for tomorrow, no. There's too many important players. For example, Wilson. Is Hayden suspended tomorrow? Is that in the league?
No, he's back.
Is he back?
Yeah.
And I would drop probably Wilson and Hayden, and then obviously swap Darlow for Dubravka, and maybe take one of the defenders out, one of the centre backs out, and play forward at the back.
Cool. Prediction is 1-0 Arsenal. We'll get your predictions in a second. And the last one of the night on WhatsApp, I think he's referencing 40, who loves a good rant. I'm sure we'll see him in the fan reaction videos. He's also a star, a cover of a DVD. Not many people know that, but Newcastle Fans TV appear on that as well. 40 doesn't want an FA Cup run, but 3 points against Arsenal on the 18th is more important. Sam, do you agree on that?
A lot is riding on this Sheffield United game, isn't it? If we beat Sheffield United on Tuesday, then that can hide a world of misgivings. But a cup run would be great. Of course it would. Let's not try and be too downbeat. But again, Brentford was your cup run. That was your big chance to be in the semi-final, and you blew it. Now you've got to go to Arsenal, who are in great form, and it's a real tall order. The priority does remain Sheffield on Tuesday.
Sheffield United on Tuesday, yeah. I couldn't agree more. Let's have a look at, finally, the poll that we had running on Twitter for an hour this evening. And it will not surprise you that you have all gone, well, I say all years, most of you have gone for the Arsenal win. So we put a poll out, says, whilst we are live, we're running a Newcastle poll up until 10 p.m. Would like to know your prediction ahead of the Arsenal game in the FA Cup. I spelt your actually wrong, I've just realised. So an easy win for Arsenal, 79%. Arsenal win on pens, 2.7%. Remember, it does go to penalties, there's no replays. Newcastle scrape a win, 13.7%. And Newcastle win on pens, 4.4%. That doesn't surprise you, does it, Liam?
No, it's probably the most obvious thing ever. But what I was saying is, if it would have been a different story if we'd beat Brentford, Fulham, and I think we played an easy team around then. It would have been a complete different picture now. No, Leeds are the best team in the league, man. Like, according to the pundits, like the best team in the league. Do you know what I mean? So,
everyone's darlings.
Yeah, Leeds could get relegated and they still would have been the best team. Like, every single one of Leeds players has been in that Premier League Player of the Season award. But I think Bruce is messed up against. This week would be a complete different week if it beat Brentford.
Good shout.
Yeah.
I think that's where it lies too. Is everyone's just pissed off about Brentford still because it was that chance. Obviously, we probably wouldn't have progressed through to the semi-final because who did they play? Man City or they played Tottenham?
Yeah,
They got Spurs. Yeah,
we got a decent record against Spurs.
Yeah, Joe Linton loves a Spurs goal. Ginger Hoskin has asked us a question. Why do we keep I'll read that again. Quick question, Lee. Why do we want to keep all the aging players? How we're going to evolve and keeping all the players that made us a bottom team? I don't think we're squad that old. I just think we've had Fernandes, Carroll, and Clark. Dubravka's getting on 31. I think you need a core.
Fernandes is a big one. Fernandes is about 33, isn't he? You could make a serious argument about not keeping Fernandes, which seems
I think
crazy.
you do need a core of experience mixed with youth as well. I think Newcastle did have a lot younger squad when we first came into Premier League. I have no qualms with it. Milan, remember, they had old players for years, about 5-6 years, and they were winning trophies. Like of Seedorf and Gattuso and Maldini and Cafu and Kaladze and you name it, Shevchenko, etc., etc. I think it's a mixture of both. Before we end, thank you for your interaction as well. We'll get the score predictions. We're back all tomorrow with the match watch along. We've got the quick thoughts. We've got fan reaction if you want to come on. We've got scoring the players and, of course, the last word as well. Let's get some predictions. I'll start. I think we're going out of the FA Cup, unfortunately, and I think it'll be another 0 in Newcastle's name, and I think it'll be 2-0 Arsenal. Sorry, lads, but that's what I think. Sam?
I was going to go 2 or 3. So normally in this situation, we split the difference and go halves, but be a bit of an odd prediction going 2.5-0. So I'll go for 3-0. I think Arsenal are going to take it really seriously as well. I think they'll be putting out a full-strength team, and I'm not convinced we will.
Liam?
I was going to go 2-0 Arsenal. I didn't see what we're scoring like.
Yeah, that's a problem that I've got. We don't score enough goals, and I think this is a perfect game for Arsenal. They're winning games now, and they're playing up against a nice team that doesn't score goals. It's going to be like a training match for them. I think this is coming a perfect time for Arsenal to win another game, and then they've got us again. Obviously, they've got a game on Tuesday themselves, but they're going to look at us and think, yeah, we'll win these 2 games. And sadly, I think they'll go down. That is it. We've overrun by 12-13 minutes. Like this video, lads. Jonathan Young doing the promotions. If you are watching, please do like it. It does mean that we pump up the algorithm in YouTube. And maybe you don't like the video, maybe dislike the video, because that also pumps up the algorithm as well. Not that I'll get into that, everybody, but that is it. Enjoy your Friday night, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks, lads. Well, I forgot thank yous as well. I haven't forgotten.
It's all right. You're welcome. Check out the Greenwood and Mulliner show.